Howdy, how's it going? Welcome back, or howdy if you're new. Today is a very much requested video that I'm finally going to take a few minutes to do, so forgive me if it took me a while to get this out, but here we go. I'm going to show you how I have Black Ops 6 configured on my ROG Ally X. Now, these settings may translate perfectly to an ROG Ally OG, Lenovo Legion Go, or tons of other devices with similar setups. So you can try these settings out for yourself and let me know. And if there's anything I see along the way that might be different on another device, I'll definitely let you know. Let's go ahead and open up the AMD Utility. And you can get to that from down here where the clock is, and you can click your AMD Utility. I would recommend setting most of these settings as like the global preset. Click the Black Ops 6, or if you don't have that, we'll do the global settings the exact same way. So you can see I do not use frame generation or fluid motion frames. Those actually add too much latency for a first-person shooter, so I don't recommend those at all. However, I do recommend setting anti-lag. You can turn image sharpening on if you like, and then over here for custom color, copy these settings down as you see here. I also made a short about this, but you can get to that as well for the global settings in the top right hand corner where the gear icon is. Click display, and then you can see I've got the settings pretty much the exact same over here. Just copy these settings down, set these, and you'll notice a massive difference over all your games that you play for sure. Let's go ahead and open up Armory Crate, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to change in here. If you have an ROG Ally X, this is the most important step possible. Go over here to performance and then go to GPU settings. You need to change this from 8 gigs to auto. The reason is it will not load in the textures properly on Black Ops 6 for some reason. They'll look a little muddied, and they'll also flicker at times when you're staring at stuff. But if you're on an OG Ally, Legion Go, or any other device, 8 gigs is where I would stay at. And then down here, you'll just turn on that anti-lag, and then you can turn on the image sharpening if you want. And then under operating mode, when I'm plugged in, I just turn all these all the way up. And there's my fan curves. You can set these. This will give you the best of both worlds with temps and pretty good fan curves too. But if you're playing on handheld mode without being plugged into the wall, what I would really recommend doing is setting the first one at like 23, the next one at 25, and then the next 30. And then I would still run those same fan curves as well. All right, so now let's look at the settings that I changed inside of the game. So first of all, open up the settings menu, tab all the way over, and we're going to change quite a bit in here. I'm going to show you from step 1. So go to graphics settings, make sure this is set at full screen exclusive, and then you'll want to come down here and then change your custom frame rate limit to 120. Then you can go ahead and apply that. You'll go to the next tab. You can set this to custom, set dynamic resolution to off, FSR on balanced, frame generation is off, VRAM scale at 85%, texture resolution low. You've got the texture filter at normal, depth of field off, detail quality at normal, particle resolution low, bullet impact on but persistent effects off, shader quality is medium, and on-demand texture streaming is optimized. And then you slide that cache limit to 64, download limit is off, texture streaming quality normal, shadow quality very low, screen space reflections off, the space lighting off, space reflections off, static reflection low, tessellation near, volumetric quality low, deferred physics off, weather grid volume off, and water quality off. Now you'll go over and tab one more, and then make sure you have all these copied down as well. Your field of view can go however you like, but I personally prefer mine at 95. The world motion blur and the weapon motion blur off, and I set the first and the third camera movement to at least 50%. And then if you want to apply all those and run a benchmark tool, you can through this menu right here. So I'm going to show you a few more settings to change. You'll go down here to interface, and then you can scroll down, skip introduction movie. Then you can come down here to telemetry, set this to custom, and you can have an FPS counter. You can see the server latency. This is not your system latency, this is server latency. So this really depends on your internet connection and your server connection and so forth. Packet loss is a good thing to also let you get notified on. GPU temperature may or may not work depending on what driver and what hardware you're running. VRAM usage is pretty good to use. and you can see everything else that I have here. So another one is under readability, color customization. Here we go. Go ahead and click this and change this to custom, and then make sure this is set to filter 2. This will make things a little bit more vibrant. You can see things a little better as well. And as far as controllers go, you can come down here and copy these settings down. These are very, very much a personal preference, but that's just how I have it set. The left stick minimum set at 2, left stick max at 80, right stick max at 76. And these play really nicely with those handheld DIY TMR Hall Effect joysticks, but they also do play pretty nicely with the stock ones as well, but you can tune this to your liking. The left and right trigger I have down at 2. That'll give you like really, really sharp hair triggers, and it really makes them press a lot quicker. Under aiming, here's my sensitivity settings here. You can adjust these how you like for sure, but this is just how I like to play. And then as far as audio goes, I actually have voice chat off just because I don't like talking to people in there, and I don't want to get a ban either. You can get bans using voice chat these days, so I have all that off. So other than that, you can have a lot of fun with this game on a handheld. It plays really well at these settings. I can get between 90 and 120 FPS. It really depends on the map that I'm playing on. But if you are playing on an Ally X, make sure that you have that VRAM set at auto, by the way, or else, like I said, you'll have those textures popping in and out. But you can also try the NVIDIA image scaling. That works quite well. FSR 3 works okay on a lot of other handhelds, but for some reason, it seems like the frame rate's a little bit more consistent with FSR 1. Now keep in mind, what you're going to see on your end should be a lot better than this, and that's because I'm mirroring the display and I'm recording it off of the dock onto my capture card. So I'm losing a little bit in translation here, and that's why I'm getting some of the frame tearing. But normally when I play on an external monitor or TV, or especially the internal display, I don't get any of this frame tearing, and I'll even get a little bit better performance as well. So you should expect a much smoother experience, but you'll be able to at least see the overall visual quality difference between this game and then the next match that I had set on 8 GB for the VRAM.
Enemy. Ready, eliminated.
We're winning. Keep it down.
RCXD ready.
We've taken the lead. Stay on top.
Semtex out. Driving RCXD. Going mine.
Establishing SAM turret.
Deploying RCXD.
TACOM, commence watchdog helo mission. TACOM, establish counter UAV overflight.
Hostile terminated.
Authorizing napalm strike. on grid. Get a CUAV on station above.
They were already dead. You hadn't realized. Good job.
TACCOM, Neron, we did it. They are retreating.
Alright, so for this match I've got the VRAM set at 8, but for some reason the textures are not popping in and out like they normally do, but you can see this issue is very inconsistent anyways, so I'm just going to roll with it. Now, there's also one other disadvantage to running this auto VRAM that I'm recommending, and that is some games in particular, like Forza Horizon 5, run a little bit more inconsistent with that auto VRAM. So it's kind of hit and miss with games if they like auto VRAM or if they like an actual amount set. So sometimes I'll have to go back in and change those between games, which gets kind of annoying. But hopefully we'll actually see this issue fixed in a future driver update. And like I said, it doesn't happen on most handhelds. It seems to be more of an Ally X issue, and that definitely seems to be a driver specific problem.
This is over.
Given up the lead.
Phoenix 1-1 inbound.
Lock
Bring
into
in
the
the
spot.
package delivered. Phoenix 1-1 RTB.
They've taken the lead. We don't.
Alright guys, well let me know in the comments what you think about these settings after you try them, and also remember to check out those display settings as well. Go watch that short, go look at the comments. People can vouch for it already since they've tried it and dropped the comment. It is a total game changer. And also thank you so much to the channel OGs, all the recent subscribers. You guys are the GOAT. Much love. Thank you so much for all your loyal support. Let's try to get to 9,000 subs by the end of the year. I know it's a long stretch, it's a big goal, but hey, let's at least try for it. Well, keep in mind I do have some other reviews coming too, so stay tuned for those. I've got that 1X Player F1 Pro review that I'm finishing up. It's been a little bit of a frustrating device. Oh man, I'm not sure if the internet's ready for that one, but if you are, definitely get subscribed. And until the next one, I hope all of you have a good afternoon, good evening, or good night.